Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about the zodiac sign Aquarius and their health. And yes, it does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant. Well, anyway, people, first thing I'll look at as far as Aquarius and their health, well, they're generally very strong with a rugged constitution. And as far as colds go and in just general health, it's usually at least adequate. Now, the vitality is good, but not necessarily great, not like the fire signs, but usually Aquarius has ample vitality. And anyway, another thing, when I look at Aquarius, as far as their health goes, well, the one thing I look at is what's interesting about the sign. Okay, Aquarius is a sign that obviously it could be very unpredictable. I think a lot of times they could encounter health issues based on doing unpredictable things. And the thing about it is, I'll give you an example. I had a friend of mine he had an Aquarius Ascendant, and one time, instead of just driving the regular way or pulling into a parking lot in the conventional manner, he decided to go up a grass hill and took his so-called shortcut up into the parking lot. Now, I was okay. Luckily, I have a Taurus Ascendant and I have a pretty stable nervous system, and I'm not very excitable or anything. But I mean, we could have, in theory, the vehicle could have rolled backwards and we could have had an accident, but a lot of it's because of their audacity. They might not necessarily have as many accidents as, say, Sagittarius or Aries, but they can have a few because of this. I forget his name, but the gentleman that walked on that tight high wire without a tightrope over the Grand Canyon had his son in Aquarius. So sometimes even their stunts could be rather perilous, even, and they could lead, in isolated cases, can lead to death. But Aquarius is so confident, sometimes they will do the death-defying stunts or do certain things that other people generally won't do, and it could put their health in serious risk. Now, another thing about Aquarius and health is the fact that, well, they could have an unusual or unorthodox or unconventional outlook on this. A lot of Aquarians may be into New Age health techniques. There may be some that might be overly resolute and stubborn as far as actually seeing a general medical provider, or may wait till the last minute to do so. And often Aquarius will want to go to the place that they know has the most advanced techniques and equipment to be used in order to diagnose a problem, if it's something more serious than just like a regular cold, for example, or it's something that's in their system that they feel is serious, and it's more than just a general cold or regular sickness or what have you. So, and another thing, as far as parts of the body that are susceptible, of course, the ankles can be very vulnerable to injury. It could be ankle sprains, just a general ankle pain, ankle Achilles. Achilles tendon rupture is something for the ankle. Achilles tendon rupture, anterior ankle impingement is another thing, and the shins could be very sensitive as well. Now, they could be susceptible to, say, shin splints, just general shin pain and aches. Another thing, as far as the shins go, could be anterior compartment syndrome, could be another thing. I had a friend that had different friend that had Aquarius Ascendant, and it seemed like she had just turned her leg the wrong way one day, and I believe it led to some serious ankle injury. So the ankles could be very sensitive. And perhaps the calves as well, I would say. So Aquarius can also be vulnerable to calf injuries. Now, another thing about Aquarius too is that their circulation can be sluggish, and often Aquarius may need ample exercise perhaps more so than the average size because of it's not necessarily because of obesity, but because of the fact that their blood circulation may not be the best. And some Aquarians, I noticed, I believe the friend I was just talking about, the former friend I talked about, I should say, had anemia, if I'm not mistaken, that had Aquarius rising. And the thing to keep in mind is that working out vigorously, or at least moderate exercise, even walking regularly, that could help with as far as any sluggish circulation problems. So another thing too with Aquarius is that I mean, like all signs, I think all signs can have a certain propensity for anxiety because it's pretty common, but with Aquarius, I think one of the things that would make them cause a lot of stress and anxiety in their life could be, for an example, a domineering partner or significant other, or people in their relationships that are like that. Keep in mind that Leo falls on the 7th house cusp for Aquarius as far as solar or natal chart. So this is the kind of person that Aquarius often is not going to be compatible with. Now in a romantic significant other relationship they could be, but there still could be difficulties because of this. Aquarius is not the type that wants to be confined or pinned in and have a domineering partner. That's why, and also Taurus is one that can cause Aquarius to be a little bit stressed out, and they're obviously not compatible as they square by sign, because Taurus can be kind of monotonous and stuck in their rut, while Aquarius can be very freedom-minded and wants to go out and do things often and be sociable, while Taurus is more introverted and more about being enamored with domestic activities. And so that's another thing to look at too. Now, another thing as far as possible mental illnesses for Aquarius, well, being claustrophobic could be one of them, because that has to do, of course, with being confined in a certain place. In Aquarius, whether it's literal or figurative, they don't like to be confined. And Aquarius can sometimes be seen as somebody or perceived as somebody with a mental illness because they can be rather eccentric and unorthodox in their manner and sometimes their behavior, and it can give off this perception or impression, but a lot of times that is not the case. They just like to be unique, and that's just how they are. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the zodiac sign Aquarius and their health, and stay tuned next time where I'll be talking about the zodiac sign Pisces and their health. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel, and secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.